Good afternoon. Although it is the afternoon for me, but in your present time, it is the morning. Welcome to In Your Own Time, developed by Project Horse. Before we go any further, I would like to warn you that you are currently being filmed. Not by me, but the present me, who is in that corner there. If you have any objections to being filmed, as this will be documented on the internet, and in the aspects of the internet it will be documented on the idea of social media. If you have any objections or are against the idea of yourself being documented online, do not come to me about it. I am useless. I am only the past me. Please do talk with the present me now if you have any objections.
So, does anybody have any objections? No, everything's fine.
Good. Now we can begin. I have invited you to experience the idea of time travel, which in today's world is seen as impossible. But Project Horse objects this thinking. As human beings, we have a human brain. And the human brain has a function to gain memories, retain them, and in some cases, lose them. And when we attempt to recall, we are psychologically time travelling. But as some memories are lost, we would be seen as time travellers that are not very skillful at. And that is why I've invited you. You, as audience members as well as participants, will put time travelling to the test. To test whether it is possible to time travel, and also if we as human beings can perfectly gain the skill of it. And when you are looking at me now in your current timelines, you are looking at the past. And as I am being recorded right now in my own live moment, this is not a live moment for you. However, as me, the past me, I am time travelling to communicate with all of you. That in itself is time travel. You may be for or against this idea, but through this project, you may or may not change your thoughts. The event will go as planned. There will be 3 exercises, and you, the audience, will partake in it. And after this, you will experience the ultimate form of time travel, both physically and psychologically. It is time for the first exercise. May 2 audience members volunteer now. Good. Now please, enter the space. Excellent. This exercise requires a time commentator and a time conductor. Between the 2 of you decide who will be who now.
All good?
Good. Time commentator, please do take a seat that is situated in the space right now in your present timeline. And as for you, time conductor, please face away from the screen, i.e. that is me, the past me. Time commentator, please confirm that you can still see the screen. That is me, the past me.
You can see it. It's good.
Excellent. Time commentator, you must now commentate everything you see on the screen. And time conductor, you must absorb and take in everything the time commentator is saying to you. And feel free to convert these imperfect texts within the following upcoming live moments into physical actions. If I have made myself unclear in any way, please talk to the present me rather than me, because I am useless. I am merely the past.
So, all good to go? You know what you're doing?
Yeah, roughly.
They know what they're doing.
Good. Let the exercise begin.
It's football. It's Man United. Man United are going to score, probably win the European Cup in 1999. Tony Sheringham's going crazy, running into the corner, just showing a replay of the goal. Giggs has put it back into the box and Sheringham's tucked it in the bottom corner. They're showing another bit of skill. I think that's Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. It's deflected out for a corner. There's a fan cheering. Someone takes a corner. It's headed in. And I think it's Sheringham that's put in the winner. Is it? Was that Solskjaer? Alright, we moved on to wrestling. One man is gripping another man around the neck. Oh, but he's been punched and punched again in the face. There's more punching. They're still on top of the cage. One of them sort of about to fall off. He's picked up and thrown off the cage. He's been thrown off the cage. Everyone's cheering. Well, he's going to look at his handiwork. So the guy's been thrown off the cage, just lying on the floor. Some of the medicine he's going to do. Alright, we've changed. There's a black spin with a blue light. And Christopher Eccleston, look at the blue light. The blue light's a Dalek. It's a Dalek. Eccleston's stunned. The Dalek, the lights come on, we can all see the Dalek, but it's chained up. It's chained up. And now we've moved to something else. And I think it's X-Men, possibly. Someone's been thrown into a glass cabinet. Someone's jumped on the floor, done the Superman landing. Someone's firing what looks like ropes everywhere. Someone's been thrown up into the air by a cord and fallen over a table. Everyone stood up. Right, moving on to what's it called? It's not one Cornetto series. Shaun of the Dead. There we go. Right, they're doing the scene where they first have a zombie in the garden. They're throwing someone at her. She's twisting her head round to look at them. And so just before they throw the vinyl at her, not that high yet. They just stood in amazement. The zombie's wandering over. That's pretty much what's happening. Right. She reaches the two blokes. She's about to bite one of them. He's lying on the floor. She's on top of him. Nick Frost has gone inside. Right, we'll cut to two women having a chat. One of them's got a champagne flute in her hand. That's nice. He's chatting. One of them's grimacing. There's a fire now and a train. A driver hits a button. There's a brake. Everyone's running away. There's a woman on the train with a baby, and the train goes off the bridge, and she's screaming, and the train crashes, and she takes refuge in a shop, and the shop crashes into the train crashes into the shop, and there's a fire. Everyone's crying outside. The woman's on the floor. The train once again smashes into the shop. Peanuts fly everywhere, and we've got the Arsenal fan TV. The Arsenal fans are being interviewed. They tend to be angry. Arsene Wenger's annoyed them. There's a lot of hand gestures, that's nice. Arguing between two of the fans, lots of gesticulating, probably there's shouting going on. The interviewer's just stood very calm, he's collected, soaking it all up. He's got a question in, but the two of them are just arguing. There's more. Alright, we've moved on to Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared. Not sure which episode. Big red long head. Oh, it's the time episode. We've got a clock van right, doing the song. Yeah, the hammer's dropped. Timer's the thing you can wear on your watch. Wrist, nothing. The clock is now spinning. They're in the bath. It's time to have a bath. They can scrub till the water's brown. You know it. Oh, they're showing the room with all the things on. Time is now still spinning. And we're zooming into the little yellow one. And now time is moving into space. Now we've moved into another Champions League final. It's Chelsea. They're lining up. It's probably a penalty shootout. John Terry's about to take a penalty. He slips and puts it wide. And Man United are celebrating. John Terry's upset. They're showing a replay of the falling over again. Oh, John Terry's upset. And there's another penalty, and I think it's Anderson. Put it down the middle. He shouted at the crowd to G him up. There's a Chelsea penalty. He scores the penalty.
Yeah.
And now we've got huddle. Man United are huddling. It shows that it's 5-5, and the winning penalty is about to be taken, and it's scored. Giggs is chuffed. And now Nicolas Anelka is walking up.
Who?
Nicolas, he's a footballer. Edwin van der Sar is sort of G'ing himself up, ready, he's the goalie. Anelka steps up, and Van der Sar saves! Man United win the Champions League. They're very happy. There's lots of people cheering now. Now it's Rick and Morty. They're onto some sort of odd alien game show. There's a spider thing crawling out of Rick's head. Now a band. Now a giant Mr. Poopy Butthole. Now Anime dancing around. Now an angry jelly bean. Mr. Jellybean is president. Now Morty is doing something. Jerry, there's protests. Nigel Farage is on the screen. It's probably the day after the EU referendum. Farage is giving a speech. He's very happy. There's lots of white men in the background. And there's one woman. Farage is still talking. This may have been just before he resigned, left the UKIP, because that didn't happen long after this. Yeah, he's just sort of chatting away at the press conference. There's about 4 people waving flags in the background. He's still chatting away. Some people are listening to him. Some people are sort of staring off into the distance. I think there's one more flag waver has arrived. They're showing the referendum results. There's a bus somewhere in the background, but Farage is still talking mainly. He's still chatting away. All right, now we've got Theresa May. Theresa May is at Downing Street. Yeah, she's making a statement. It says breaking news. It's a news bulletin. We'll wait and see what the breaking news is, because it just says breaking news. She will seek a general election. Right now we moved on to Trump at a rally. He's giving a speech. He's quite minimal in the hand gestures for a Trump speech. He's getting more aggressive. Some people cheering in the background. Someone holds up a "Stands with Trump" sign. There's another one in the background. He's still talking away. It's in Anaheim. He's doing his sort of weird finger thing. There's a riot. It's a riot police watching a riot. There's a man with a t-shirt over his head walking towards a bin that's on fire. Someone throws something at the riot police. Riot police are still just watching. There's a bin on fire in the background. Some what looks like general looting, and someone throws it over again. There's an ambulance. There's an ambulance. 3 ambulances driving through the streets. There's a police car. We've gone back to wrestling now. There's a man on the floor. Someone is stood up. He's stretching his arms out. He looks tired. He stood over the person on the floor. He picks him up. Gets a hand under his crotch, one over his shoulder. Picks him up over his shoulder, but the guy's reversed it. He's now picking the other one up and holding him over his shoulder. Still holding him over his shoulder. He's G'ing the crowd up, and he's thrown him on the floor, and he's gone on the floor as well. And now he's trying to pin him. It's a leg pin, and it looks like the ref's tapped him out, and he's won. He's won. He's tired. He's sort of lying on the floor. A man loses his mind in the corner. He's sort of screaming. Another man in the crowd is going crazy. What might be the wrestler's manager is celebrating with him. There's 21-1 on the big screen. The Cybermen are now here discussing with a man with a Bluetooth earpiece. They're chatting away. The Cyberman grabs him and electrocutes him. The Bluetooth man is dead. David Tennant and Rose run away. Lots of general screaming. A woman gets Cyberman to death. Lots of people with Bluetooth earpieces. General Cyberman chaos. Again, another person electrocuted by the Cybermen. But Rose and David Tennant get away. Billy Piper thinks about going back in, but David Tennant grabs her and they run. But there's more Cybermen, so they run in a different direction. Back to the building, but they sort of run down the side of the building, and a man jumps out and follows them. It's a scene of the Cybermen walking menacingly, following them. There's more Cyberman carnage. A woman runs in, she screams at the Cybermen, then runs away, and one Cyberman follows
Participants,
them.
please discontinue this exercise as this exercise is now over. And please do return to where you were originally seated amongst your other audience members. It is now time for the next exercise, which requires 3 new participants. May those audience members volunteer to participate now. Good. Please do enter the space. Thank you very much. This exercise requires 1 time conductor and 2 time commentators. Between the 3 of you, decide who will be who now. Excellent.
All good.
Currently in your present space, there is 2 seats. These belong to the 2 time commentators. So please take your seats now. Time conductor, please face away from the screen. That is me, the past me. Thank you. And for the time commentators, just like the previous exercise, say what you see on the screen. However, only 1 time commentator can speak at a time. Time conductor, it is down to you. You have the power of time alternating. Indicate which time commentator speaks at one time by simply pointing at them. Also feel free to make interpretive movements or physical actions from the text that will be coming from the time commentators, like the previous conductor, or feel free to stand and absorb and memorise. But please do be aware, if you are making interpretive movements or physical actions, to also alternate and make clear which time commentator is speaking at one time. If I've made myself unclear, then please talk with the present me, because I am useless. I am only the past me.
All good?
Yeah.
Yeah. They've got it. Yeah, they've got it.
Good. May the exercise begin.
So there's a cat which has just fallen onto a velvet cushion, and now there's another cat being cradled like a baby by a man.
He's been cradled by a man like a baby would, rocking back and forth. He's now touching his nose and his chin. He's trying to get away, but the man is still rocking him.
And to the either side of the screen is kind of blurred, and the cat has scratched him on the lip. And we've moved to another cat, which is a little black cat. It's trying to chase her. And now we've got a ginger cat jumping around in the garden trying to catch something. And it's falling into a bush.
It's now running around. We moved on to another video. It's a black cat jumping out a window. It's opened the window and it's fallen back and smashed black cat now.
There's a black cat on top of
a ladder. And the ladder's fallen. And the laptop is smashed. There's another cat, black and white, sat on a horse. The horse is walking, the cat's quite relaxed on its butt. It's not doing much. There's another cat.
There's a cat and it's looking at what looks like a shadow puppet. So the shadow, but we can't see the person making the puppet, and the cat trying to get the puppet, but of course it's just... And now a series of
And
images...
now we're, it's a man jumping out of a plane. Now we're looking at people protesting, some more writing, Theresa May, Jeremy Corbyn, more politicians talking, some more writing. Big Brother Kim Woodburn is shouting at one of the other contestants. We're in the bedroom.
It's
She's really
very
going
kind
for
of
it.
pink.
She's still going for it. She's having a go at the one that was in The Apprentice. One half of Spidey's laying in the bed. They're all going for it. They're still having a go. The footballers jumped up and run off for him. Oh, this is the adulterer bit. They're going in.
And it looks like they've moved into the kind of shared living area, which is kind of like done out in a kind of pop art Andy Warhol style. And there's a man with tattoos and his top off, and he's shouting. And now another man is getting off of a bed. We cut back to the Andy Warhol.
They're leading Kim Woodburn away. They're trying to get her away from the argument. Spidey is talking to the footballer with the weird. Someone sat in the diary room chair crying. She's obviously very angry. She sat with her legs crossed. We're back in the living room again.
It's more like Liechtenstein actually than more. There's a lady in what looks like and we're outside by a pool, and the pool is hot, and the man with the tattoos is angry, and he's pointing with his hand, and she's kept apart from the one who. And
they sat by the pool again, and the man with the tattoos is shouting over security. Spidey's trying to break it apart again.
And now we've got a shot behind two people, and now it's cutting between shots, and we've got lots of people arguing, and lots of people, and then we cut to the bedroom, and the bedroom's very messy, and now there's someone in security getting water thrown on them inadvertently by the lady who tells you how to clean your toilet with lemons. And she's
Kim
still
Woodburn
shouting.
is now being dragged up the stairs by security while she is shouting at the tattooed man. She's now walking up the stairs, complaining to security. Someone's just walked in front of the camera. She's still being led up the stairs. And now we're in news. Someone's reporting. It's Fox News. Theresa May is making a speech in some sort of library. She's standing in front of a load of books. She's quite passive, not really saying much, kind of looking around.
Yeah, her lectern says strong, stable leadership, and she's on half of the screen. The other half of the screen is a commentator, what looks like who's interpreting what Theresa May is saying, and there's a strapline across the bottom, deadly London terror attack, it says. London terror attacks. It's like Fox News.
And she's still quite passively talking. Not much has changed in terms of the video. He's still standing on one side talking, and now we've switched to another video on the other side, and people are running. It's I think Manchester, no, it's the London one. They're all running down the road. Paramedics are running down the road. Lots of running, people screaming, people upset, people running away. And now we switch, there's a lady.
So there's jogging, and now we've gone to a woman with a pink t-shirt. Looks like she's holding a small animal, maybe it's a bunny, and there's a small girl run past in front of her. There's a car, looks like an American number plate in the driveway. It looks like we're in a wide street with large attached houses, big front lawns, and the girl is jumping up trying to grab the small pet. Looks a little bit like maybe a little rabbit or a hamster out of her hand. And the woman's bending down to put the little animal onto, looks like a guinea pig maybe, on the floor, on the grass, and it's next to a kind of, it's run away really, really fast, and that looks like it was unexpected. It's run towards the next neighbour's house, and a bird has got it. A bird has come down and got the little pet and flown away, and we're all desperate to see the little look on the little girl's face.
And we're just planning, okay, there is a bridge, and there's an upturned car. Someone's poking up over the car. There's lots of people shooting at the car. I think it's Deadpool. And they're looking at each other, the gunmen, and they're advancing towards the car now. And someone raises their hands above the car. in the surrender kind of sign, and they're kind of like looking at this car, like, what do I do? And he points to one of the gunmen, and they're still shooting. No, they're not shooting at the car
And
anymore.
there's another man with a gun, and now we're back with Deadpool. He jumps up and it's gone to slow motion. He's flying through the air and he shoots one bullet. The bullet goes very slow. We see the casing coming towards the screen, and now it shuts, and the man's head is being blown off. And now there's a bike coming through. The man is riding one-handed on the bike. We're in fast time now. We're going very, very fast. And the bike is skidding and turning, and Deadpool has something's happened to his elbow, it looks like. And now there's we're seeing it looks like an office, and quick cut between lots of people who look like they're being interviewed. There's a sign saying Google, the man with the box. There's a woman doing inverted commas marks, and she's wearing a nice sweater that zips up. And there's a man with a beard, and now we've cut to a side view. We can see the man is on one side of the table, the woman gets a piece of paper, she walks away, and there's a fellow with a beard, and we go back to the other beard, and there's two men with beards. And here's this man with a white, and there's another man, and he's, what we're getting is either side of a table, and we're seeing this man who looks like he's got a tie on, looks like he's in charge of some sense of authority, and lots of people kind of interviewing. And now the whole building is turning upside down. It's kind of panning to the right or to the left, depending on which way the camera is looking. And all the stuff on the table is gone, and the screen's gone blank.
And slowly we're getting little bubbles of colour. The Focus Features logo is appearing. And that's fading into focus. And it's gone blank. And another film logo is appearing on screen. The working title film logo. And they've walked in, and there are beers, and someone's picked up a beer, and it's gone blank. It's World's End, the scene where they're all walking out of their school. There's papers flying everywhere. They're obviously just finished an exam. They all look very pleased with themselves. You've got they're all walking backwards. Exams are in the air. Now we're in a school. Someone's on a very old telephone. Oh, it's the same
And he's on a very, very old-fashioned telephone. He says "fuck off" and he puts a middle finger up. And there's a guy called Pete who hits someone with a bag, and then he gets pushed. And then he picks up some books, and they're still pushing. And now there's people jumping into a swimming pool with a great big splash. And here's Steve. He's smoking. There's someone else smoking, and they're playing the guitar. And there's three girls carrying books. And then there's two boys going to, well, one of them now is going to the window. Now Andy kicks a rugby ball, and now he's bashing into other people, and he's ready for the try line. Another man is, now they're smoking, looks like dandelions, and they're walking through a tree-lined path, and they hit the fire alarm, and they come down the stairs, and there's three of them, and they're sort of pushing and jostling, and there's Piers Brosnan, and he's smoking, and the guy is smoking, and they're talking to each other. Looks like they're in a kind of office, and then the guy with the long coat, and now it's cartoon, the pink and a blue.
There's pink and a blue, what looks like a squirrel something, and they're drinking orange juice. The pink creature looks at the empty glass, throws it away, and starts cutting up lemons. Then she stops, she moves one finger out the way, and then carries on cutting the lemon. And then a nail falls off of their sign and scrapes away her face. Someone carries on to the lemonade and then squirts it over her torn off face. She's obviously in a lot of pain because it stings. So black. They've put a load of needles into the sign. And now someone picks up a squeezer and they're squeezing the juice out of the lemons while the pink creature is bandaged up holding a knife. She then goes to cut the lemons, but a knife falls down and smashes the blue thing's face in, and an eyeball pops out, and now the pink creature picks up his eyeball and cuts into the eyeball. And she's still cutting into that eyeball very slowly, almost, like a bit of bread. And the other bit of the eyeball kind of falls off, and there's blood over the table. And then she picks up the juicer, and she squeezes all the blood out of the eyeball, and then she's still squeezing that blood out. And then she picks up the juicer and puts that into a cup.
And the juice from the eyeball has been poured into a cup, and she's drinking it, thinking it's lemonade, and it sort of makes her face like it's disgusting. That she was expecting to be a lemon, but it wasn't. It was an eyeball. So she puts some sugar in to sweeten up the eyeball juice. and three ice cubes, and she takes that slice from the centre of the eyeball and uses it as a kind of decorative. And now it's England versus Germany. It's Germany 2, England 1, and there's a shot which hits the crossbar and crosses the line and comes back out. Frank Lampard is celebrating, and he's upset because the goal hasn't been given. And now we've cut to the other end of the pitch, the ball's been kicked forward and the Germans are on the attack, and we've got a close-up of the referee, and now the Germans are still on the attack, and it's in...
Still playing and the ball's gone onto the other side, someone else has kicked it, it's missed the goal, and the goalkeeper's running around the floor. He's rather disappointed, someone pulls an angry face at the TV screen. And it's a repeat, and you see the goalie go for it and it just misses. And it kind of bounces over onto the post. Another repeat, but from another angle. Someone has their hands up in the air in dismay. We've skipped to another one. There's a load of cheerleaders in a hall, the lights flickering on and off. Now we're on a mountain, there's somebody walking. Now we're back to the cheerleaders, somebody looking over their shoulder. And there's another shot, someone's got their arm up, lots of different shots. Someone's looking, they're all looking at the door, and the door suddenly falls in. And somebody ominous looking, someone's running, oh god. They're looking at the person and screaming, there's somebody on fire. He's pulling some weird angry gestures at them.
And there's a group of cheerleaders, and they're falling to the floor, and it's slow motion, they're pretty, and it's scary, and there's these horrible men, and they've got armour on, and there's a guitar, it's a Gibson Les Paul. And they've got horrible makeup, and they look like kind of creatures from another world, like demons. And it's this nice juxtaposition between these kind of aggressive demon guitar players and these nice sweet little cheerleaders who are all dead now. And there's a girl who isn't a cheerleader, or she's not got the uniform on, and she's sort of facing off with the horrible kind of blotchy sort of band led by the. And now we've cut to another band, and it looks like more kind of human figures. It's not a Les Paul anymore, it's a different type of guitar. But we cut to the drums, and they've got long hair, and he's singing, and it looks like Motorhead, and he's leaning up and singing into the microphone. He's got a kind of grimace on his face, and the drums are being hit hard, and the lights are red, and they're flashing, and the guitars are being played, and he's singing, and he's got long hair, and he's got a handlebar moustache, and we've cut now to a frontal view of, we cut back.
And they're still singing into the microphone. Microphone's still pointed down. Cut back to the drums. Cut back to the guitar again. He's still singing, just rocking and rolling, still getting quite passionate. Still playing his guitar. Cut back to the drums again, and he's like smashing them and doing the cymbals and stuff. And then he's back to the guitar again, and they're singing. Close up with the guitar. First with him singing, and then we cut to another video, and it's of a girl, no boy, and they are back at the drums, and she's singing, she's like screaming, I think it's Screamo, and back to the drums, now someone's headbanging while playing the guitar, and now we're in a mosh pit, and we're back to singing again. And she's singing close up at the camera, back to the drums, and she's singing to the audience now, and we're close up with the guitar, and she's singing back at the audience. We're having lots of different shots of basic band stuff. She's still singing, more stuff with drums, she's still singing. You see shots of her kind of with her leg up on the speakers, singing towards the audience. Someone else headbanging with a guitar, kind of doing some weird, full body headbang. And someone's still playing the drums. She's still singing with her leg up on the speaker. We're getting shots from. We've changed to the Weeks video.
It looks like a kind of interview with Theresa May, and then it's wiggled into a different, and we're in a bar, and now we're walking downstairs, and it's kind of first person. I'm strangling someone now, I'm kicking someone who's on the floor, and it's flashing, and now there's a DJ playing around. I'm trying to grab the vinyl. The video is from my perspective of it, and then here is Theresa May again. Then we've gone to a kind of cartoon version of like Transylvania, and here's it looks like Dracula, and he's got like a minion reading something out. And there he is with his big pointy ears, and the light changes to make his face look more sinister. And we've gone back again and having a conversation over what's written on this clipboard. And the guy with the clipboard looks like he's trying to describe something to Draken. Draken doesn't look happy about what's on that clipboard. There's someone else in the background with a hood on, and it's lit by flames. So we haven't got kind of traditional electric lighting. We can see the moonlight coming in through the kind of the window that's shaped like it's in a church. And he turns to, there's two of those hooded figures. We've panned across and we can see two hooded figures who are shaking their head. And now he's just bitten the neck of a girl in a white dress. And we've gone to a London, looks like a footage street. And we've got one with black hair, and she's got a couple of men behind her, and there's a kind of older white man with greying hair, and he's kind of facing off against this little group, and the camera's cutting between the two. It's a BBC programme.
And he's looking up, shocked, talking to the sky, and she's looking a bit like, what the fuck is this dude doing? And then this big, like, shadow creature is walking, like a giant, is walking through London, and they're all looking like really shocked, looking up, and he's kind of, I think, commanding this shadow creature, and it's kind of looming over them, like it's got horns and it's kind of screaming, and now we're having an aerial plan of it walking through London. People are running away from it as it kind of like steps over buildings.
And the running through a kind of pavemented area. And the shadow is going across the screen, and there's someone sweeping the road. They're not ready. Then they look up and they see this big monster, and now they put down a broom and they hide in a doorway, and the shadow goes across them. And the really big kind of monster is walking past the street, and now here's a man. It's that man again with the kind of cravat and long coat, and here's the woman with the dark hair, and she looks really shocked. And she turns around and she looks back, and there's nothing behind her in the street. And there's just looks like someone lying on the floor, two people lying on the floor, and lots of people lying on the floor. There's a car that's crashed. It's an overview of the city now. We can see the London Eye, we can see a train station, and we can see an aerial view, and now we've got a kind of roadside view, and we're seeing lots of different kind of perspectives. Two people in bed, man and a woman. It's red, and they're in the position of spooning, but they're not touching, so they're separate on separate pillows, and both facing the same way. And the man kind of wakes up first. And it looks like they haven't got any clothes on, at least from the waist up, and he rolls over, and he's sort of got one arm behind his head, and he sort of leans forward, and the pillows and the sheets and the undersheet, they all match.
And he's on his phone, he's sitting up in bed on his phone, she's still asleep, and he's scrolling through his phone, and he looks over at her, looks back at his phone, and now there's more people lying on the floor, and one man is getting up now. And he's looking over at the people on the floor next to him, and he stands up, rolls someone off of him that's on top. He's looking over, and there's loads of bodies on the ground. He's the only one standing up, and he's looking around in a bit of shock. The woman in the bed is now woken up, and the man has jumped out of the bed, like he doesn't know her, and it's a bit weird. Now there's someone running through a building, running up some stairs, and we're panning back up at this building, this glass building, and someone's driving out in a silver car, and they get out of their car and open the door to another car, and pulls someone out, and looks shocked. He's looking around, he doesn't know what's happened, and that boy's run back out of the building, is now running down an empty street, it's BoJack Horseman. BoJack Horseman has woken up, and he's in a messy place with a human girl sat next to him, and now he's panned back, and they are sat on a bench, and he's got his arm around this girl, and they're having a chat. It looks quite romantic, and now he's scratching his chin, and going back to the arm resting. She's getting, I think, quite aggressive now. She's telling him off because he obviously hasn't done something right. He grabs her hand, puts one hand on his heart, and then goes back, and it's panned into a close-up of his face, and he looks quite annoyed with himself, and he's scratching his neck again. Then it goes back to them who they're in a bed on a dirty mattress. He's got hold of her hand, and they're talking, and he's shaking his head. and he looks up at the sky with eyebrows raised and then looks back down at her and carries on talking to her, takes her hand off and shakes her and she brushes him away, and he goes to take a hand.
And so she sits up on the bed, he's still lying down, and they turn on the television, and it's there was a name I couldn't read it quickly enough, and he sat up now, and they're both kind of, and then she stood up on the bed and she grabs the curtain, pulls the curtain off and puts it round her like some kind of like toga or shawl or something. They're watching the TV again. Now it looks like it's a kind of parody of sort of an Oscars ceremony in this kind of post-Beavis and Butthead kind of cartoon world. And she's excited, she's jumping up and down on the dirty mattress, and she's saying something, and it's a bear that's won, it's a statuette that looks like it should be an Oscar, but it's a bunny rabbit, so a bunny with pecs. And she's kind of folding her arms now, and the horseman is looking at her, and she goes onto her knees. And now we've cut to a street which looks like, from first glance, to be a kind of Middle Eastern country. We've got a burnt out car and a tank, and the tank is slowly rolling towards the burnt out car. The tanks are in that kind of sort of desert colour, that sort of beige, and it's rolling over the car. The car explodes, boom! There was some kind of device there, and it's exploded the tank.
The tank's fine, it's just kind of standing still now. And we switch to a man talking at us, and now hitting a man with a dummy of a balaclava, and he's really going for it. He's now kicking him dead and falling over, and then punching him and punching him and punching. He keeps going for him, and then the dummy falls over, and he puts his hand for victory. And then there's somebody else also kicking. Now does a forward roll. Is now also kicking another like punch bag. We're back to the dummy with the balaclava, and someone comes in. There's a roller taking falls over, and is using now the dummy to climb back up. Now there's a sweaty man talking to us, and is just randomly kind of kicking at half kind of height, and he's kind of spinning around. He's just fallen over again, and now he's kind of like collecting himself and acting all macho. Somebody else, he's got nunchucks and does backflips and falls on his face. And carries on trying to, but loses balance and falls over again. And now we're looking at a bag of springs and his head in the corner. Okay, someone is raising the dummy to his kind of height now. He has his top off and puts an apple on top of the dummy's head. And he kind of like puts himself into a karate stance, goes to kick the apple and falls over. Gets himself back up, jumps up. A larger man is now doing a forward roll. There's a bit of wood on some bricks, and he's trying to kick it, but it's not breaking, and he's still going for it. And okay, we've just cut to a different thing. There is
it looks like a model of the Leaning Tower of Pisa, but it's kind of straight. It doesn't actually look like it's leaning from this angle. And it's kind of like a model that's in a kind of suite of offices, and there's one man interviewing another man, an older man holding a microphone, talking to a younger man, and now the older man's going round the model of the... Oh, and he's inadvertently broken it, and the Leaning Tower of Pisa model has collapsed, and the young man who looks like he built it, he looks really shocked, and the man looks like he's sorry, he's got his arms out, I didn't really mean to do it, and he looks like he's trying to explain to the camera, the old guy, that he didn't mean to do it, and now we've got this a white man in a suit, and he's looking like he's outside some kind of like fence, and the fence is an electric fence we know now. And here we've got Kevin Conahan, and he's an electrical fence engineer or specialist, and lots of kind of cuts between electric... Oh, and he's put his hands on the electric fence, the reporter, and we're seeing that again in slow motion, and the current goes through, and he really hurts his hand, and he recoils backwards. And then we have this, looks like a kind of music festival in the rain, and three girls with kind of parkas, their hoods are up, and they're kind of happy. I know it's a Jeremy Corbyn rally, and there are lots of people looking over at what Jeremy is saying. They're clapping, they're with their hands in the air, they've got their phones up there, they've got people nodding in approval. They're all wearing the hood, they're all out in the rain. There's a Vote Labour sign, and a big crowd, and there's Jeremy Corbyn, and he's talking into a microphone, and there's a child with a smile hugging her mother, it looks like. And then two people kind of chatting, they're both wearing glasses, and we're walking alongside like kind of old railway arches, and now lots of shots of a big crowd with people wearing hoods, and there's two women in purple jackets, and one's got a purple umbrella with hearts on it, and they're both wearing glasses as well. And Jeremy Corbyn is starting to get into his speech a little bit more now. He's kind of gesticulating, he looks kind of passionate, and And now we see images of people like filming on their mobile phones and clapping, lots of clapping. There are people, the man with dreadlocks clapping, and there's a little girl on someone's shoulders, and there's clapping and hands in the air. There's Jeremy in the background, and he's talking into the microphone. And we've changed to the early show. It's 8:31 a.m. in the morning, and it looks like we've got an aerial view of Washington DC, and then we've got the early show again. It's still 8:31. It's 67 degrees. And this is the sign that it looks like we're getting some words on the screen. We are returning to the airport, and it looks like the dials and knobs on
yeah, so we're in the cockpit of an aeroplane. It's empty. We're getting a lot of shots of the equipment. And now we've shot to a fireman, and he's got his hat on. He's looking up, and it's a home video. Oh, it's the NBC News. We're getting lots of like logos of Fox News and different news channels, NBC, breaking news, news alerts, that kind of thing is flashing up. We're in CNN, breaking news is flashing across the screen. I think it's the Twin Towers attack, and we've got the shot of the buildings just after the attack, there's smoke coming out of them. It hasn't collapsed yet, and you've got, I think, Batman is with the Joker when he's in the mob scene, and they're all watching the TV and they're talking to him, and the Joker's just smashed a knife in someone's eyeball, and it's like it's gone, it's vanished, kind of gestures, and two of the mob bosses are like, whatever. Someone stands up, he's very angry. Someone's obviously agreeing with the Joker, he's not agreeing with the Joker, the other man. And he sits back down. He's obviously realised that, you know, the Joker's right, he needs to agree with him. The Joker's trying to press his case, just talking very seriously down to the camera, staring right at us. And we've changed to a basketball game, and they're throwing the ball, it's gone into the hoop, slow motion, and it's gone into the hoop from an aerial shot, and they're celebrating.
Participants, please discontinue the exercise as the exercise is now complete. Please return to where you were originally seated amongst the other audience members. Thank you. There should now be within your living presence timeline 3 chairs formed in a straight line on one end of the space. Those are for the time commentators that partook in the 2 previous exercises. May those time commentators make their way and sit themselves down on one of those seats. Thank you very much. Time conductors, make your way to the opposite end of the space, standing opposite your time commentators from the other end of the space. Thank you very much. This exercise requires one more time conductor. May that person from the audience volunteer now. Thank you. Join your fellow time conductors and stand dead opposite the 3rd remaining time commentator. Thank you very much. Time conductors, you now must recall everything you remember your time commentator saying to you from start to finish. Convert those memories to physical actions, as well as moving from your end of the space to the commentator's end of the space. And for the new time conductor, your function is the same. You must remember everything you saw and convert it into physical actions, as well as moving from your end of the space to the 3rd time commentator. And if I have made myself unclear in any way, I think we have all predetermined what I'm about to say next. Do not consult me. I am useless. I am merely the past me. talk to the present me that is with you in your current timelines?
What I will say is, just remember, this isn't a race. This is to be done in your own time and literally in your own time. Everything all clear? We've got it?
Thank you very much. May this final exercise begin.
Okay, lots of news things, and they're breaking news.
Oh no, there was
Pop, pop, bam, 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 bam. And then there's towers, and something flies straight into them. People are reacting all around, and then there's football, and scores, and then it takes you there's another one.
there's a bird.
And the bird comes, it picks up this creature, gutted, and Man United win. And then Theresa May is speech about terrorism in the UK, and she's saying something that we can't hear. And next to him is someone who clearly needs to translate what
Blue light in the dark,
looking at his phone, and then we can't understand how to tree friends, and the wood, and
and there was cheerleaders.
they're making
And one of the
lemonade,
lemonade,
and it's a pretty girl. The thing about it,
we don't do that
but the sign comes in and smashes her face up, and then we come to the next scene, and
He's holding his hands up.
to run the other one, bandaged up, and the other one flies by the blues,
And Corbyn's still going, his gestures are getting
and
bigger.
she takes
and then
time
she
to
bigger.
slices it,
There's another
don't help me scrub,
they're in the bar.
There's lots of
going
and there's lots of riot stuff and people throwing stuff.
And then there's loads of guns and they're
There's
crouching
guys with
behind the
dreadlocks,
cars.
and
And they
there
stand up,
are
put their hands up in
people in
surrender
hoods.
sign. Chelsea, and they're putting their hands up.
Shot,
And shot across.
There's 3 minute hoods, and they're going, yeah,
And he
like
goes
that.
the goes in, but it's not a replay of him.
penalty and he goes to the ground.
Himself.
Oh yeah, there's lots of people in the room standing. Jeremy Corbyn's very neutral standing,
there
talking
was,
very passionately.
Theresa May,
What that is
guitar playing,
and
drums.
that was that.
Lots of drums and the singing.
Then there's more news.
On the
There's breaking
She's
news.
spinning.
Rick and Morty.
She's singing now with her leg on the speaker while she gets onto the guitar.
Jerry.
And there's loads of hands hanging at the guitar.
I was
I
confused.
can't remember. Rick and Morty happens, and it's the 8-bit Rick and Morty, where all
More flashes of breaking
enter
news,
into a kind of a
and
game
our towers are still
narrative.
standing at this point.
So
It looks like
this
home video
gentleman
is fine.
there,
He's looking at and it's like a
you
home
get rope
video of this fire.
Because it's an
There's lots of twin towers are still there. There's wrestling news. There's TIG wrestling, tape at the
and
end.
then
The line is
picking up over his shoulders,
breaking
one
news,
another
flash,
drop,
flash, CBN,
and
CBN,
then with heels on his
and the
shoulders.
horse is
and then
laying.
his gigs.
The horse is sat on a
With
park bench with his arm around his head, with the leg not impressed. And she's saying to him, and he sat there and there's a close up of her face. And we've got another cat. And
Cats, there's
going
cats
along.
all over the place.
There's loads of
And there's
cats.
funny ones,
And the
there's
bird
others
has
on the
picked
floor
up
and
that
falls down.
hamster. The bird's now
there was-
flying around,
there was lots of
and everyone's
people
shocked as the bird has been
there was
picked up this thing that we think is a
And then-
hamster. It might be a guinea pig.
Then there are that's logos for films, circles.
Oh, well, we see the landscape of London, the London Eye is spinning, and we've got an aerial view of London
Showing the baby.
and there's another close-up of her face, and we're behind the car again. He's surrendered. Oh, a man is sleeping. And he looks up and there's that shadow creature. He drops his broom and he starts running. And the shadow is now coming for him.
Fuck off, devil
He's
thing.
going over.
Shadow
And we think
but not everybody.
this might be
Some people
Deadpool.
wake up the next morning.
Oh no, there's something with his elbow. There's something wrong with his elbow.
And
There's
just
karate,
after
and he's trying to
Brexit,
break
so,
the wood, but he's just not doing it, and he's
people cheering in the
punching,
background,
but he's
people
not
holding up
again.
placards, and there's another
He's
person
still
holding
not
up placards.
punching.
He was still talking.
Jeremy Corbyn still. Oh, Theresa May,
Someone was
and
looking
she sat there. There's like a clipboard,
While they were
and then all of a sudden it warps into
there's a flag.
There's
Yeah, there's a flag and another flag.
and it's Beavis and Butthead, but it's not. It's like
People talking.
there's post Beavis and Butthead.
Oh, yeah, away from the riot.
Donald Trump.
And there's rioting. Yes, there's rioting. Running away.
There's a staple.
There's more headbanging. There's a lot of headbanging in this piece. A lot of guitars, drums, singing, headbanging guitar, singing. Helen's back on that speaker and she's. Kim Woodburn. Kim Woodburn is throwing water at a security. There's a swimming pool. There's a guy with tattoos. And now we've got lots of beards. There's like loads and loads of men with beards. And I remember that handlebar style. Again, and they're throwing water and she's going up the stairs. But she's really going up the stairs and accidentally throws the water while someone's mouthing off to her and she's mouthing back. It's Kim Woodburn. They're in this house. It's like Andy Warhol.
Oh, there were two wrestling things. The first one was.
And the guy with the tattoos is really angry.
He was being thrown
off. And she's still being dragged downstairs. Water's being thrown everywhere. There's security. And we've got this London skyline. And there's more news flashing.
There was a breaking news thing to win like this.
More news flashing. Breaking news. Breaking news. Theresa May sat there
Something
still.
happened. It was the call of the election. It was called the election.
Quality got really complicated.
Passive.
Something
She's not really saying much. Is out there supporting. He's got loads of supporters. People in parka jackets clapping.
I see I have re-emerged. For the present me to put me back on the screen, this would imply that the third and final exercise is over. And may I say, from the past, congratulations to these participants who have partaken, but in my time they are about to partake. Thank you to everybody.
You may.
And the present me will not let you go without a reward. He will be handing out these rewards to you now. And whilst he is doing this, this is the last time you'll see me. The last time you see the past me. So, from me, the past me, thank you for taking part of In Your Own Time, developed by Project Horse.
Okay, thanks everybody for time travelling on this fine morning. Feel free to visit the website for more information about this particular project and other works that I've done in the past, and feel free to give the Facebook page a like and follow and subscribe, and feel free to take selfies with your certificates and tweet about it and tweet about what you thought. Whatever you want to do, it's in your own time, literally in your own time. So thank you very much.